Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Bible Illustrated Hands. Today's question comes from Temesgen Abraha. He asks, is selling your soul a real thing? Thank you for your question, Temesgen. This concept is rather old. And when we speak of selling your soul to the devil, generally the first person we think that comes to our mind is, of course, Faust, which is, of course, a popular legendary figure, a famous doctor of canon law, who, getting tired of his earthly life, decides to sell his soul in order to have prestige and whatnot. And in the end, he regrets it bitterly. However, thing is, this story has a precedent which is far older, coming from even 5th century, I believe, and it is the story of Theophilus, who was an archdeacon somewhere in today's Turkey, if I recall correctly. And the story has a couple of variants, but I'll tell you the one that I first encountered. So Theophilus, he was an archdeacon, and he was offered the position of a bishop. And Theophilus rejected it out of false humility. And when he did, a man who was, not a very good bishop gets elected. And Theophilus regrets it. So he decides to, sell his soul to the devil in order to become the next bishop. So he meets up with this Jewish necromancer, and the Jew takes him to a hippodrome, that is to say, an unconsecrated ground, where he conjures the devil, and in exchange for his soul, the Theophilus becomes a bishop. That is, he gets elected. However, as soon as he does, he regrets his decision. So it wasn't, something that happened over time. He instantly regretted it. So he starts praying and fasting, and the Most Holy Mother of God appears to him and tells him that he needs to pray and fast more, and he will get his soul back. He does. He prays and fasts, and one morning, upon waking, he sees a scroll that he signed on his chest. And realizing that his sin was forgiven and that he wants his soul back, he dies out of sheer joy. And that's the story. So, technically, you can sell your soul to the devil, but there are a couple of things here. First, why would you? Literally, why would you? Why would you? If you actually sell your soul, that means that you have a soul. And if you have a soul, that is the worst resource that you want to trade, because it is the sole eternal part of you. Of course, our bodies as well, but where the soul goes, the body goes. So if the soul goes to hell, well, it's not like body will walk off to heaven or something. No. Both will boil. That's the first thing. Second, what would you trade it for? Literally. People generally trade their souls for money, power, sexual favors, or whatever. But there is a Byzantine proverb that I really like that goes along the lines of stomach is a false friend because it constantly asks for new favors and it never remembers the old ones. And the point of the proverb is that pleasure is very fleeting. The split second it is consumed, it is as it never happened. It wants it again and again and again, and your soul can provide only so much. So, for example, if you want sexual favors, well, your old age will catch up with you, and you lose. You won't live forever. So it's very pointless. Actually, during browsing Facebook, I got an ad for this book of black magic spells, which basically had the tagline of damn yourself through sorcery. Like, damn yourself through magic spells. And my initial thought was, like, why? I mean, there are so many more hedonistic ways to damn yourself. Why damn yourself through magic? But let me go on with this. However, there is one specific thing for all of your soul sellers out there, and that is that Satan is far less interested in your soul than you might think. And the very fact that you think that Satan might be interested in it is a point of pride. Satan wanted Theophilus because he was a high-ranking cleric. Absolute majority of us, he finds our souls boring. And one more thing. In the split second you want to sell your soul, you already lost. The split second you actually decide that you're willing to enter into such a deal with the devil, you're completely useless to God. God still loves you. He wants you to repent, but as far as his saving grace goes, you're useless, and that is basically that you're entering a deal where you have already nothing to offer because your soul immediately starts belonging to the devil from that point on. So literally, what's the point? I remember this guy on this forum that I was a member of, and probably still am, but just I don't visit it anymore, but it was a good place. And he was what I would call in my bad reasons to convert a wandering spirit. And this guy, was inquiring about orthodoxy and seemed to get really interested in it. But then suddenly he started losing interest fast, and he started to greet everyone with namaste, And we were like, but that is a Hindu greeting, we're Christians. And he said, no, I'm greeting God in you. And, we were trying to, talk him out of it. And one day he clearly had some sort of a mental breakdown, and he said, like, guys, yesterday evening I invited demons into me, and guess what? Nothing happened. See? So demons aren't real. And I really like the absolute overwhelming majority of answers, which were like, well, of course, what else would you expect? Why would demons appear and scare you? Like, they already have you, So that's that. So, in short, yes, you can sell your soul to demons. In absolute majority of cases, it won't work because Satan finds you boring. And if your soul exists, and if you do manage to trade it, you will regret it instantly. And you might not get the saving grace of Theophilus, because his repentance was heartfelt. Are you willing to risk it? Don't. Bye.